Unmuted.
Hello and welcome to Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. Thank you so much Azhar sir and Wasim for joining me. जैसे कि आप जानते हो आज मुंबई का game होगा and it's going to be a very important game because they haven't been living up to their Mumbai name. Punjab still slightly more comfortable than how Mumbai have been, but they say when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So hopefully this will be a very a game changer kind of game for them. हमने देखा कल चेन्नई के साथ क्या हुआ था. So anything can happen. So let's start with you, Azhar sir.
Yeah.
Very important game for Mumbai, and it seems like they're not. I mean, मैं क्या बताऊँ? आप खुद देख रहे हो game, तो आप बताइए आपको क्या लग रहा है कि उनका strategy क्या होना चाहिए?
I mean, strategies. I think that Rohit Sharma has to score runs, because I think he's the captain. The captain has to score runs. I think in the last 12 or 13 innings he hasn't crossed the 50. So I think he's a very important player because when he gets going, I mean everything, gets better. If you see, even when he's captaining, also his body language, everything changes. If you see, if a captain sometimes not performing, it becomes very tough to tell other players also. That should not be the case, but it actually happens. But I think Mumbai side, to me it looks like a very depleted side, because they don't have a very good bowling side, But I think as we were talking before, I think they need to play more all-rounders because I think they lost two all-rounders, Hardik Pandya and Krunal Pandya, so they're unable to, get that combination right. So I think if they can get the combination right, I think they will have a very good chance. But I think having said that, today is going to be a very tough game. Punjab King also. Punjab also is a very good side. I'm sure they will. We're trying to give Mumbai a run for their money. I think
Money.
it's a very good side too.
Yeah. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल वसीम जैसे कि हमने अभी बात की about Rohit, he seems to be getting out in the 20s and 30s. So what would his strategy be?
Well, I think करिश्मा मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि रोहित शर्मा जैसे अजू भाई ने बताया है कि रोहित शर्मा का बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है. अगर आप उनका आईपीएल का रिकॉर्ड देखोगे तो लास्ट 7-8 साल में ही हैजंट स्कोर्ड 500 और 600 रन्स बीइंग अ प्रीमियर बैट्समैन ऑफ द टीम. बट इसके पहले वो चीज चल जाती थी. ये सीजन में आई फील मुंबई इंडियंस को रोहित शर्मा द बैट्समैन बहुत जरूरी है. उनका खेलना बहुत जरूरी है. ही हैज टू प्ले अ रोल जो मे बी केन विलियमसन जिस तरह से खेल रहे हैं और शुभमन गिल जिस तरह से खेल रहे हैं, ही हैज टू प्ले दैट रोल क्योंकि उनके स्टार्ट में उनके पास में ईशान किशन है, सूर्य कुमार यादव है, डिवाल्ड ब्रेविस इज आल्सो प्लेइंग, बट रोहित शर्मा हैज टू बैट टिल ओवर नंबर 17 एंड 18 एंड इफ ही डज दैट देन मुंबई हैज अ वेरी गुड चांस. लेकिन उनकी बॉलिंग भी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बहुत ही पुअर है फ्रॉम द टीम दैट वी नो. द टाइमल मिल्स प्रोबेबली हैज टू कम बैक, टिम डेविड हैज टू प्ले. So they have got to get the selection also right, and they have to play the brand of cricket we all know that Mumbai is known for. We have seen CSK play that yesterday. Mumbai has to turn up today.
Yeah, Wasim, आपको क्या लगता है should there be any changes in the Mumbai team? कोई changes होने चाहिए that will probably help them today?
I think Tim David definitely has to play, in my opinion, in place of Ramandeep. Tymal Mills, I hope he is fit, so he has to come in because उनकी bowling बहुत मुझे लग रहा है कि weak है. Without any overseas fast bowler, just Bumrah being the premier bowler, उनकी bowling बहुत weak लग रही है. तो Tymal Mills coming back maybe in place of Basil Thampi. Maybe Mayank Markande can get a game क्योंकि Murugan Ashwin, last दो मैच से हम देख रहे हैं, he's not been able to finish his overs. So you can give a game to Mayank Markande. He'll bring some new ideas. He's also played in IPL before, so he'll relish that opportunity. And the batting has to click. I feel, Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, the top four guys playing, they need to, bat bulk of the overs like Chennai did yesterday. Then they stand a good chance because Punjab is playing such a good brand of cricket. You need to bring your A game, otherwise, it's going to be tough.
Okay, Azharji, question on Punjab. They have been bold in their batting approach, but in almost all their games, their main batting resources have been exhausted by the 15th over. Do you think they need to bat smarter?
Well, that's right. As Wasim already said, the first four or five batsmen have to bat in the 20 overs. If you don't bat, then it becomes. I mean, like in the 15th over. I mean, there are some matches. If you see in the 15th over, the tailenders are batting. All the other batsmen have got out. I know 2020 cricket. You really have to get going. You have to hit. I mean, now the trend is that you have to hit every ball. Even if a batsman scores 24 runs in four balls or five balls, then the sixth ball he gets out, and then there are another 6 overs for him to bat, and he's batting 60. So that's a very big, grave mistake. So as Wasim rightly pointed out, and I'm also in favor of, as a batsman, I'm also in favor of players. I mean, like play till the end. Like almost like 17 or 18 overs. If any, like for example, if Rohit Sharma plays till 17th or 18th over, he'll get on easily. Sometimes he might score 100 also, by 80, 90. I mean, it makes a big impact. Like a good premier
Yeah,
batsman playing in those overs. Even the bowlers are scared. And even with Mumbai, I think they have become too much dependent on Bumrah. Because if Bumrah
yeah,
doesn't do well, then they will find it very difficult because they think that Bumrah is going to do maybe fine. Yes, in 2 or 3 or 4 games they will definitely do well. But then it's also not good to put too much pressure on him also. But at one point of time also he will also succumb to that pressure. So I think
yeah,
Mumbai, as Wasim has said, they have to bring more changes. They have to play more all rounders, and then have to keep changing the team. Because you can't keep playing the same team because Basil Thampi and all, they have not really done well. They have not really performed. So I think you need to get new players, because new players, I mean, are always. I mean, when you have new players, it becomes difficult. They are always wanting to do well. They are wanting to cement their place in the side, and they will give their best. And I think that's the only way Mumbai can really hope to win. And then, as I've said, as you've talked about Punjab Kings, also the same thing. I mean, what
yeah,
I've said about the same thing with Punjab Kings. If you have players, good players have to bat till the 18th, 19th over. If good players get out
yeah.
before 15 overs, then you don't expect the tailenders to score runs in the end.
Yeah. I mean, Wasim, because you've been a part of Punjab, you would probably know more inside info more than I would. So, what would your strategy be on a hike like this? Like, why are they exhausting themselves on the fifth by the 15th over?
Well, knowing the Punjab team and Anil Kumble, he always wanted to play that aggressive brand of cricket, and that is what they've done from the first game. No surprises there, but I think the way Mayank Agarwal is batting, he's not getting runs. Shikhar Dhawan hasn't been at his best. They are not playing the 7-8 overs that is required. The openers to bat. If the openers bat the power play and they give them a solid start, then the batting to follow is outstanding. Liam Livingston, Johnny Bairstow, Jitesh Sharma, and Sarfaraz Khan, they all can do that. But the openers getting out cheaply, and then the batters batting for short period and they're getting out, and we're seeing Rabada, even all the other batters, the bowlers actually getting the opportunity. So somewhere they have to bat a little smarter. It's fine to play that brand of cricket, but they need to be a little bit smarter. I think Mayank Agarwal has to also come to the party. He needs to. Last year also he was playing very aggressive, but this year I think he's trying too hard to go too early. I think he just needs to be himself. Shikhar Dhawan also has to, come good. He's been an outstanding player. Otherwise, Liam Livingston is doing his job. Johnny Bairstow has just played one game, but I think they'll be all right. They lost a very close game against Gujarat, which they should have won. But I feel this team is playing really good brand of cricket, but they just needs to be a little bit smarter about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling very bad because आप दोनों का भी इफ्तार है, but so I'm gonna
No,
quickly
it's
get into
okay.
the
No problem.
questions because okay, so let's get it. Should we talk about the numbers tracker? Is that what we should go through right now? Let's take a 1 second. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Odion Smith. I mean, has been very expensive thus far. Case to bring in Rishi, Dhawan, or Howell. What would you suggest? Either one, Azharji or Wasim. Wasim?
I think Wasim
तो
will.
मुझे लगता है क्या मुझे लगता है कि आई फील अगर ओडियन स्मिथ को आप बिठाते हो तो यू कैन ब्रिंग इन आई फील भानुका राजपक्षा आई थिंक दैट गिव्स यू अ वेरी स्ट्रांग बैटिंग but then you have to drop somebody to get an Indian bowler. So either you can bring Sandeep Sharma or you can bring Rishi Dhawan, who's also an all-rounder. So that is a very good choice क्योंकि ओडियन स्मिथ जिस तरह से बैटिंग कर रहे हैं He hasn't done really great, and he has been very expensive bowling wise. If you see here,
Yeah.
he's going almost at 12 and over. So for a foreign bowler to go into that economy is very very expensive. So I feel you can bring in Rishi Dhawan, or you can bring in Sandeep Sharma also, uh, and probably bring Bhanuka Rajapaksha, and build your batting very strong. That is one of the options they can go to.
Okay, let's take a look at the numbers tracker powered by Sky247.net. Let's take a look. Well, big issue for Mumbai. What used to be their strength has become their weakness, death bowling. Where are they going wrong? I mean, I don't even think this is the $1 million question. I mean, they don't have the players that they used to have last year. Fair enough. But ab kya kar sakte hain, Azhar ji?
Well, I think as I've already said before, because 14.6 runs in the last overs, run rate per over, it's too much actually. I mean, like it's very
Yeah,
hard for them, even if they score. I mean, like 200 runs, but still they're giving 14.6 runs per over. They need to cut down on that average. I mean, like, it's very difficult if you give 14.6 runs per over. I mean, you stand to lose the game straight away. And as I've said, with the bowling which they have, that's the only reason why that run rate per over has gone up, because they don't have good bowlers to defend. They don't have good bowlers to get wickets. In a T20 game also, if you keep getting wickets, then it becomes very difficult
yeah,
for the batting side to set a target or score more runs. But the basic problem Mumbai is having is that, like even if you see in the last some 17 to 20 overs, I mean the main batsmen are playing against their bowling. I mean whichever team they are playing. So I think they
yeah.
find it very difficult. As I've said, if they have to get down on that order, or else I mean they'll find it very difficult. Because I mean they have great batting lineup, but what's the use of the batting lineup when you're giving 14
Yeah.
point 6 runs per over? The bowling side is
और
very
उसके
weak.
अलावा भी आई मीन करिश्मा दे हैड ट्रेंट बोल्ट लास्ट ईयर, दे हैड फुल्टन नाइल लास्ट ईयर, तो और इस बार ऐसा लग रहा है कि दे आर टू डिपेंडेंट ऑन बुमराह, बट बुमराह के अलावा जो बॉलर है टाइमल मिल्स है या डैनियल सैम्स है, बेसिल थम्पी है, दे आर इन नॉट इन द सेम कैटेगरी. सो द बॉलिंग लुक्स वेरी वेरी डिप्लेटेड. उसके अलावा लास्ट ईयर उनके पास राहुल चहर था, ये साल मुर्गन अश्विन है. Murugan Ashwin couldn't complete his 4 overs. And then last year they had Krunal Pandya, who used to come and bowl in the power play if needed, and he used to bowl in the middle overs also. So they haven't got anybody like that. So that 14.6 economy in the death is not surprising at all.
करिश्मा एंड वसीम,
Okay, let's take
लेकिन
it.
जो उनके जो बॉलर जो है, अगर आप रिप्लेसमेंट भी अगर कोई बॉलर करेंगे तो उतना खास कोई रिप्लेसमेंट भी नहीं है. अगर आप ऐसा नहीं कि आप बोल सकते अगर चलो एक प्लेयर है उसको रिप्लेसमेंट है, कोई रिप्लेसमेंट के लिए भी कोई उतने अच्छे बॉलर है नहीं. तो जहाँ पे लोग मेरे ख्याल
बिल्कुल
में बॉलिंग में तो कैसे भी स्ट्रगल करेंगे, जाने तो उनको ऑलमोस्ट इन एक्सेस ऑफ 200 एवरी मैच बनाना पड़ेगा टू पुट प्रेशर ऑन
बिल्कुल
द.
बिल्कुल. I think they have to play the same
Yeah,
way CSK did. They have to
या
score that 20 runs extra and then hope their bowling clicks. That is the brand of cricket I think Mumbai has to play.
40 रन मोर वसीम.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Let's talk about some key matchups, potentially Dhawan versus Bumrah. Let's take a look. Dhawan so far in the tournament has had the better of Bumrah. His wicket would be really a key one for Mumbai. Wouldn't you think, Wasim?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's only got out to him once, तो वो थोड़ा सा मुझे लगता है कि एक फेवर में होगा पंजाब के लिए. But if you match up with Bumrah to Mayank Agarwal, Mayank has got out quite a few times to Bumrah, so they'll be hoping that Bumrah strikes there. Bumrah generally doesn't bowl too many overs in the power play. Last year उनका pattern यही होता था कि he'll only bowl one in the power play, and then he'll bowl two in the death, and he'll bowl one in the middle. But this time around, because the way they are bowling, he's getting 2 overs to bowl in the power play. So somewhere I feel Bumrah has to get them wickets. Bumrah hasn't got a very good record bowling in the power play. He's not somebody who gets you wickets at the power play. So that is मुझे लगता है कि वो थोड़ा सा pressure बुमराह पे आ गया है कि he has to strike, otherwise Mumbai is in trouble.
Absolutely. The next one that we have is let's take a look. Kishan taking versus Rabada. Kishan has dominated Rabada in the past. Should Punjab start off with Rabada? They have been holding him back for the latter part of the power play so far.
Yeah,
Azurji?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think Ishan Kishan also has to perform. Because one match if you score 50, another match. I mean, like you, I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to if you have to make a mark, you have to really perform. And Rabada is an outstanding bowler. He's bowled well in every form of the game. So I think he's going to definitely go for it. But I think at the end of the day, I mean, as I've said, if Ishan Kishan is batting, if he gets off to a good start, then he has to carry on. See, then sometimes I feel that players 50 after 50 or 53 runs, they start going for runs. Even they if they know that still they have another 8 or 9 overs to play. But who will play those overs? Not the talenters. You
Yeah.
have to play. Once you are in, you have to play all the overs. Almost close, at least go close to 18, 19 overs. Even if you don't score runs in 1 over or maybe 4 or 3 balls, but still you can make up, because you're already set. You're a set batsman. For a bowler to bowl to a set batsman in the death over, it's very difficult. It's not possible because the batsman is said he's going to milk you and get runs more.
Okay. Okay. Well, Mumbai have just got lucky. They have finally won the toss and they have chosen to bowl. Fun fact: first game for Punjab in Pune, Mumbai's third game at the venue. So smart decision. We'll see.
That's been the pattern, Karishma, isn't it? I mean, every team that has won the toss have bowled first, so they'll be hoping that they'll restrict them to below 200 score and hopefully chase that down, or even below, maybe 180, 190, and then chase it down. So no surprises there. It'll be interesting to see what team they play. More than the toss, I feel what 11 they put on the park, that is going to be very very vital. But at least they've
Absolutely.
got the first thing right.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about Surya Kumar Yadav. Is he the most dynamic Indian batsman in this format? Azarji, if you can hear me.
Well, I
Yeah.
think yes, I can hear you. I mean, I think he's a great player. He's always done well for the Mumbai side. He's been very consistent. Very unconventional player. Sometimes he plays strokes. I mean, it's very difficult to understand
Yeah.
those strokes. But I think he has to. I mean, you can't keep expecting. I mean, him to score every match. I know. I mean, he's going to do well. He's a
Yeah.
premier batsman. He's done well over a period of time for Mumbai. But I think, I mean, the Mumbai team is expecting there's some only have their expectation of only three or four players. They're expecting that if they do well, okay, fine, Mumbai team will. If they don't do well, we lose the match. That has been their, mental block. Because they have to get out
Yeah.
of that, and every player have to perform. It's not the only three or four players. What if three
Yeah.
or four players don't play well? I mean, that means you lose the game. That's not the point.
Yeah. Wasim, in your team meetings for Punjab, how are you planning things, against Surya Kumar?
Well, you can't actually, the most important thing, Karishma, is the first maybe 5 or 6 balls that you bowl to him. If you bowl, and मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि the best ball is the one which is, that uncertainty of corridor, जो आप बोलते हैं, जो test match length है, that is probably the best ball to bowl to anyone. But after that, if somebody is as good as Surya Kumar Yadav, you just hope that he mistimes the shot, or he plays a silly shot, because he plays. I think he's an Indian AB de Villiers. He's like plays
Yeah.
360 degrees. He can hit you behind the keeper also, and he can hit you in the fine leg also, and he can hit you at straight. So you just hope that you bowl the best ball, and then he makes a mistake, because he's such a good player. उनको देख के first of all बहुत अच्छा लगता है, and the way he's been carrying the Mumbai team for the last year or two is outstanding. So he's very very important in that batting lineup. Not so much last year, I would say, but this year I feel Surya Kumar Yadav has to play a very very important role along with Rohit and Ishan.
Okay, so we also have a change in the Mumbai team, which is Mills is in for Ramandeep. Yeah, that's the only change that we have for Mumbai. Strengthening perhaps their death bowling. Would you think, Azarji?
Well, yes, Mills is always, very good bowler. I think he has had injuries also before, but now it's come back fresh. So, I mean, hopefully, I mean, he's been bowling well, in the games, whatever games he's played, he's really bowled well. So I think with him coming, there will be less pressure on Bumrah, because I think, I mean, the Mumbai side, have to look for wickets. They have to go for wickets. If they start bowling a length to contain the batsman in the first 4 or 5 overs, then once the batsman is set, it's very difficult to contain them later. So I think the most important thing for any team, leave alone Mumbai, any team, they have to look for wickets in the beginning, because in the first 2 overs, there's a very good chance of getting wicket. As Wasim has said, just bowl a good test match line length. I mean, that if the batsman makes a silly mistake, I mean that there you get a wicket. But then the problem is that I mean, even in the beginning, the bowlers are trying too much, because they're trying too much, because that's when they're giving many runs. They're not going
Yeah,
for wickets. You have to go for wickets also. If you start taking wickets, then it's always pressure on the batting side.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, if
Um,
I look at the team, Karishma, they have changed. They've taken Ramandeep out and they've brought Timer Mills, which means Kyron Pollard will bat at 6, and they've got Jaydev Unadkat to bat at 7. So that is very light batting compared to what we have seen with Mumbai. So if they lose 2-3 wickets early, they are going to be in trouble. They've got very bowling heavy. There's nobody to bat at number 7, 8. So I am very, very surprised. Whereas Punjab, I feel they are unchanged. So they'll be going with a very strong team. So very, very surprised selection from me.
ठीक है चलो बात करते हैं अर्शदीप सिंह की. Do you think he's very underrated as a bowler?
Well, I
I think
don't
he
think.
is. I think, yeah, I think he is a very, very underrated somebody. I think in the last game that he bowled, that 18th over, he only gave five runs in that over, brought Punjab in the game. So he's very shrewd, very sure about what he wants to bowl in the death. He's not slow either. He bowls 130 to 135, can swing the ball. So I feel, somebody who's uncapped, he's very, very underrated.
Yeah, और आपको यही लगता है अजहर जी that he is quite underrated as well?
नो डेफिनेटली उन्हें एक्चुअली अगर आप देखेंगे तो हरजीत काफी साल से आई मीन पंजाब की टीम को खेल रहे हैं, हर बार उनका अभी अगर आप देखेंगे बोलिंग परफॉर्मेंस हर बार अच्छा रहता. ऐसा नहीं है उनको कभी भी आप ऐसा नहीं देखेंगे उनकी बोलिंग पे ओवर में 20 या 22 रन कभी गए होंगे. तो बहुत अंडररेटेड बॉलर है, बट समटाइम अंडररेटेड रहना भी अच्छा है. एक्सपेक्टेशंस कम होती हैं.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Let's
बिल्कुल.
take a look at our social tracker powered by Sky247.net. चलो देखते हैं social दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है. So let's take our first one. How do you shut down a troll? Really worried about her parents right now. Actually, so we had the other one that's come up, because this chick is saying that she's not going to get married until RCB wins.
I think
So
it's
this
a
is
good way, करिश्मा. ये मेरे को लगता है कि ये लड़की को शादी नहीं करना है. So this is a good excuse.
हाँ करेक्ट है, सही है.
हाँ correct.
क्योंकि आरसीबी पता नहीं कब जीतने वाली है और इसकी शादी होने नहीं वाली है.
Okay, was the competition for you, it seems. Let's take a look at our next tweet. So, how to shut down a troll. Get on the gram if you want to see more of this or want to win big in my second last post. And then some chick has written, Bumrah is better than you. And he said, I'm sure he is. I'm retired.
बिल्कुल. I think she needs to know her cricket
Have you
better.
shut down
Yeah.
any trolls, Wasim, Azharji, when people say things like this, कि इससे आपसे better तो ये है, and you'll have to be like, but I'm retired now, so obviously, or whatever. Have you had to shut down trolls?
It's people's opinion. You have to listen to everybody. I mean, sometimes people just troll for the sake of trolling. Also, it really
Yeah.
hardly matters. What matters is people, your fans. Who respect you, who has given you everything. And all through the career. That is more important than rather worrying about the trolls and all. If you start worrying about things, then it gets on to you.
No, of course. Wasim, I'm sure you get I think you get trolled quite a bit. By the way, I followed you, but if you haven't followed me back, FYI, you need to follow me back. But then tell me about your trolls and how you handle them.
No, I've trolled Michael Vaughan quite a bit actually, because वो इंडिया के इतने पीछे पड़े रहते हैं. So it's a fun to troll him back. But when some random people, I think Karishma, say some stupid things, then it's better to avoid them because they don't know their cricket. But if somebody as knowledgeable person, tops, then you squeeze in a line or two is okay.
Okay, fair enough. Let's take a look at the fantasy tracker next by sky247.net. Take a look and I will explain what it is. Can we have a look at the fantasy tracker?
Thanks to you, bro.
Today's fantasy tracker is not about today's game. Since we have such a classy batsman in our show, we asked them to create their elegant and graceful fantasy tracker. So this is a very hypothetical, in the perfect world. So let's take a look at our fantasy tracker. Azharji, let's see your one first and why you chose these wonderful, elegant and graceful. Okay, I think it's gonna come on in a minute, but this will be quite interesting to see. So Azharji, this is your elegant and graceful fantasy tracker. Jessica हमने अभी देखा है.
Yes,
Please
yes.
tell us why.
I think Tendulkar is the greatest, one of the finest players, and I've played a lot of cricket with him, and I think his straight drive is to die for. I think it's been such a lot of elegance. He's played some strokes, where I've seen, I don't think anybody has seen playing him live some of the strokes. So one of the great players, and then Ganguly, a great player, a good offside player, but his cover driving, his square cutting, and a lot, it was a lot of elegance. Then Brian Lara, I mean, no defense player. He doesn't believe in defense. Like if you see, he plays. I mean, like right from the first ball, if the ball is there to hit, he goes. I mean, he hits them, and then I think the most important thing is that against spinners in Sri Lanka, I think he got 500 runs in 3 match series or something like that. So I think he's outstanding player, great player, lot of elegance, and I mean, I'm not many words to describe him, but my favorite player is Mark Waugh.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's too much elegance. I mean, the way he played, the way he made batting look easy, was very very. I mean, it was outstanding to watch. Even I was in the field, fielding, but a great player.
Yeah.
David Gower, same like Marco, same thing. I mean, a lot of elegance, great player. And when I made my debut, he was a captain for England, so I think he's an outstanding player. I mean, and nobody can compare Mr. J.R. Vishwanath, Vishy Bhai, as I used to call him. My only regret is that I was unable to play Test cricket with him, but I played a lot of games when he was with the SBI. He was the SBI captain. I was playing for State Bank of India. I mean, his square cutting, his flicking, and the most
Yeah.
important thing is that he's won so many games for India. So I think I have high respect for him, and he's a great, outstanding player. And then you want more? Kirmani also.
But Wasim, by where are the bowlers?
Bowlers are there.
Azhar, where
Imran
are the
Khan is
bowlers
there.
coming?
Kapil Dev is there. There are bowlers also. I mean, they call him as all-rounder, but I think each of them have scored. When Kapil Paj has taken more than 34 wickets, and Imran Bhai has also taken almost like close to 360, 70 wickets. I think they are the finest bowlers. The good bowlers are exponent of good swing bowling and outstanding swing bowling. And then both of them outstanding fitness. I mean the fitness personified. Kapil Paji was outstandingly fit till the last game he played. I mean he was too fit. He used to compete with us even at that time. And after playing for so many years, I mean I learned a lot from him. And I mean think both the players have been great all rounders. Especially I mean Kapil Paji. According to me is one of the best all rounders. And then you have Ian Botham. I mean, always very 370 wickets and more than 5,000 runs. I mean, what more you can ask for? Like there's no word. Outstanding player. I mean,
Yeah,
total entertainer.
absolutely.
And you have the late.
That is why it's a fantasy team, because it would be amazing if it actually exists.
That's
Let's
exactly
see.
what I mean.
Let's see your team. Let's see how many of his players have made it onto your team, Wasim. You do
Well,
have
my
Imran
team,
Khan on the
my
side.
team is absolutely vintage one. Karishma
Okay.
Barry Richards, he was one of my favorites. I've seen him, few of his tapes. Mark वो जैसे अज्जू भाई ने बताया मेरे भी बहुत favorite थे. Viv Richards, you can't argue. Viv Richards, totally destructive, but very elegant as well at the same time. Yuvraj Singh, left-hander, absolutely delight. He fits in my team. Greg Chappell, I think he was one of the best players that I've seen. Gary Sobers, there's no doubting that बॉलर, आई मीन एक ही बॉलर के अंदर आपको लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर भी मिलता है, चाइनामैन भी मिलता है, मीडियम पेस भी मिलता है, and his batting is totally different anyway. Then you got Adam Gilchrist, you got Imran Khan, who's such a fine all-rounder. Shane Warne is captain of my team because he's won the first IPL for Rajasthan Royals, so he'll be captain of my team. Then you got Wasim Akram, Malcolm Marshall, absolutely outstanding bowlers, two of the best. अभी जिससे भी मैंने बात किया हूँ, everyone has said that Malcolm Marshall and Wasim Akram were the two best fast bowlers that they've faced in their lifetime. So those were the two, and I've got Sakleen Mushtaq as the 12th man if you need another spinner. So that is my
Would you have
fantasy level.
No,
would you have loved
Karishma,
to have
I want
faced
to
him?
correct one. I want to correct Wasim. With Gary Sober, he was not medium pace. He was also very fast, Wasim. I mean,
जी
people are
जी
afraid.
वही वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं कि वो एक ही के अंदर सारा कुछ है.
Medium pace से भी he was very quick.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So he was one in एक मतलब 4 प्लेयर में एक प्लेयर आपको मिल रहा है. तो
पांच player
आउटस्टैंडिंग.
में great player.
जी.
Okay. एक बॉलर बताइए जो आप दोनों ने कभी फेस नहीं किया था लेकिन you would have liked to have faced.
Dennis Lilly.
Okay.
I would say Wasim Akram. I've never faced him, but it would be a great challenge to face him, and plus a great honor as well.
It was a great
Yeah.
challenge, Wasim. I think
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yes.
Before I let both of you go and enjoy your iftar, let's just take a look at the poll. And I also want to know, can Rohit Sharma end his 12 innings 50 drought tonight? 72% have hope and have said yes. 28% have sadly said no. But where do you both sit with this poll? And I'll let you both go.
I think I want him to do cross that 50 mark
Yeah.
because he's too
Me
good
too.
at
Me
it.
too. Bilkul, bilkul. I
Okay.
think he is a phenomenal player, and he needs to come good if Mumbai needs to come on the winning ways. So this is a due for long time.
So do you think the toss is going to give Mumbai a stronger advantage and they can break this spell of theirs that's not been going very well? Both of you, can we all root for Mumbai?
Hopefully, I mean, we definitely we don't want any teams to lose like 4 or 5 games or 6 games in a row. I mean, then there will be no competition. I think we definitely will want Mumbai to do well and then at least open their account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
agree
think
with
I think as long as Mumbai doesn't concede 210, 15, 20 runs, they've got a good chance.
Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen. Hum aapko milenge at the end of the show on your Sky247.net presents Not
Thank
Just
you.
Cricket. Enjoy your iftar, enjoy your
Thank
lovely
you.
meal, and enjoy the game as well. God bless you both
Thank you.
later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.